بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
What is the hijab? The word hijab comes from the Arabic root word hijab, which means to conceal or cover. In an Islamic context, hijab refers to the dress code required for Muslim females who have reached puberty. Hijab is the requirement of covering or veiling the entire body with the exception of the face and hands. Some also choose to cover their face and hands, and this is referred to as burqa or niqab. The hijab is not required in situations where there are only females and certain male relatives present. However, hijab is not just about outer appearances, it is also about noble speech, modesty, and dignified conduct. These righteous manners are also required of men. Muslim males are also required to dress in loose and unrevealing clothing in order to maintain their modesty and dignity.
The hijab is obedience. Although there are many benefits of hijab, it is first and foremost a commandment from Allah. Therefore, wearing it is an act of faith and obedience to the Creator, as mentioned in the Quran.
Tell your wives and your daughters and the women of the believers to bring down over themselves part of their outer garments. Quran 33:59.
Allah, the All-Wise, knows what is best for His creation, and has therefore provided guidance in order to benefit humankind. The wearing of hijab, just like any other act of obedience to the Creator, brings one closer to their Lord and helps bring a sense of satisfaction and contentment to the person wearing it. The hijab in no way suggests that women are inferior to men. The hijab is modesty. Islam promotes modesty and decency and seeks to minimize immorality within society. The hijab, amongst other things, helps attain this goal.
Say to the believing men that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty, that is pure for them, and Allah is well acquainted with all that they do. And say to the believing women that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty. They should not display their beauty except that which is apparent, that they should draw their veils over their chests and not display their beauty. Quran 24:30-31.
Note that in the above verses, it is men who are addressed first in regards to lowering their gaze and guarding their modesty. This counters the claim that all responsibility for such modesty is shouldered by women. While Islam discourages public displays of immodest dress and sexual behavior, being a practical religion, Islam encourages love, affection and intimacy between married couples in private.
The hijab is protection. The wisdom behind the hijab is to minimize sexual enticement and moral degradation in society as much as possible for both men and women. The hijab helps protect men, women and society by creating stability in both families and communities in a number of ways. Shields from unwanted advances. Shields women from perverted looks and superficial scrutiny. May help reduce the likelihood of sexual assaults against women. Shields from sexual exploitation of women based on appearance. Shields from temptations and harmful desires.
The hijab is dignity. The hijab promotes a woman's femininity rather than suppressing it, and grants women dignity and self-respect for who they are, as opposed to being judged by superficial standards, such as appearance. This grants women the power to shape their own dignity via more meaningful standards, such as righteousness, knowledge and societal contribution, rather than having a consumer society dictate their worth through material means, such as how they look or how much money they earn. In the sight of Allah, men and women do not have to be identical in order to be equal, and this is reflected in the different roles and responsibilities which apply to each.
The hijab is respect. In a number of societies today, many women are taught from early childhood that their worth is proportional to their attractiveness. They are compelled to follow unrealistic and demeaning standards of beauty in order to satisfy unreasonable peer pressure and community expectations. In such a superficial environment, where so much emphasis is placed on external beauty, the internal beauty of the individual counts for very little. Islam, however, teaches that a woman is to be respected according to her virtuous character and actions rather than by her looks or physical features, of which she has little or no control. She does not have to use her body and charms to gain recognition or acceptance in society, as the hijab directs self-worth away from appearance and onto qualities such as piety, virtue, modesty and intellect, attributes which are more equally accessible to all. Every woman who wears a hijab or burqa is a unique individual, and it is unfair and inaccurate to make a sweeping judgment about all such women based on one item of clothing they have in common.
The hijab in the Bible. The hijab is not something new. Muslim women follow the example of righteous women in the past, such as the Lady Mary, the mother of Jesus, peace be upon him. Some of the evidence from the Bible includes the following 2 verses. And every woman who prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonors her head. 1 Corinthians 11:3-6. I also want women to dress modestly, with decency and propriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or expensive clothes, but with good deeds, appropriate for women who profess to worship God. 1 Timothy 2:9-10.
The hijab is confidence. The hijab enables women to have confidence in themselves as human beings. It increases the self-esteem of women by allowing them to focus on what really matters in life. The obsession with physical appearance can have dangerous and unhealthy consequences, as some women go to harmful lengths in order to feel accepted by an increasingly demanding society. The hijab helps prevent such mental and physical harms associated with a lack of confidence, by limiting self-consciousness based on appearance.
Made for the sake of Allah by Helping Muslims Group on Facebook.